That's really great. Before we start, I just want to be sure that everyone is able to hear me very well or not.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Oh,
We can,
good.
yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi. Hi,
Hi.
guys and ladies. Thank you for joining this session about transforming project management with GenAI. So, we're going to start with a short presentation, I guess. I hope so. And then we move to something more tangible, let's say pragmatic. Maybe a few of you are already using a GenAI or LLM application, such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot from Microsoft, or Claude. The prompt that I'm going to use could be applied for all of them. But initially, I'm a subscriber of a ChatGPT, and we can do as well some tests on the other LLM Gen AI solutions. Let's get started with our presentation. Okay, good. So before we start, I just want when I have been invited for this session, I was very curious about why India is so interested on Gen AI. So for that, I found a study they asked 17 countries that what they think about AI in 2022. KPMG Australia and the University of Queensland did this research. The results show that people in India and China trust AI more than the others. This might mean they like artificial intelligence more or use it more often than me in my country, in France. But in countries like Germany and Israel, fewer people trust AI. They might worry about things like privacy. I can understand that. That's right and wrong with what's right or wrong with AI, and or if AI will take away jobs. This is the main concern, for instance, we have today in our countries. This information can help people who makes rules about artificial intelligence or create new AI tools according this kind of information. They can use it to understand what people in different places, such as India, Germany, think about AI. This can help them make better plans or AI in each areas, and we'll discuss that as well with some examples about the risk implementing GenAI. We have to keep in mind that GenAI is a really game changer in project management. Today, a challenge for all project managers is we expect that AI will deliver value to your organization, to our organization or not. This is the main point. Should I implement or use AI on my daily duties? Second is that we need to understand and leverage artificial intelligence that could make the difference between project success or failure. If I use on my daily duties, for my daily duties, artificial intelligence, will it help me or not to succeed on my project? And third is you have to consider that if your job involves today preparing schedules, budget, reports, AI may take over all these tasks today. So you have to consider artificial intelligence as a powerful ally and not our replacement. Let's go back as well to some factual information. By 2030, 80% of the project managers, according to Gartner study, and you have a link where you can access to the information later on, believe that AI would change their role. But in contrast, fewer than 25% of project managers feel fully prepared to integrate artificial intelligence. So there is a huge gap between the expectation and as well the reality, okay? So we want to have AI, but we're not all of them trained for handle this. And one important thing, this is an information we always use when we start teaching to the students about project management. According to the Standish Group study, only 35% of projects succeed yearly. In contrast, we have to keep in mind that the wasted resources and unrealized benefits of the over 65% are completely mind-blowing. 65%. So, based on that, what are today the 5 most important barriers in using artificial intelligence tools in project management today? I identified on my side 5 of them. We may have a limited understanding of AI technologies. Everyone is talking about AI technologies. And I would like that you Google as well, or Bing. Just type artificial intelligence Commodore 64, a very old computer used during the 80s and the 90s. We already started to speak and talk about artificial intelligence, but what is exactly the meaning about that? We have as well difficulties in deciding the best AI application due to limited experiences, because the business is driven by use cases, mainly not about, let's say, I want to know more about how AI can help me on my work duties, but why I need AI to perform my use case faster or quicker or with more accuracy. Data privacy, digital ethics and security risk. Yes. For instance, in Europe, a few days ago, they just published what are the rules that needs to be, let's say, implemented when we are using an artificial intelligence tool within your organization. Limited IT capabilities, yes, you need new IT technical skills. You need to have standard IT processes and procedures. And AI, if you would like to jump into it, and you have to jump into it, no, you can't skip that, is a way that you need to learn how, you have to learn how to unlearn. Yes, you have to learn how to unlearn. This is a completely another way to learn how to use a tool, how to practice with a software. And the next barrier is many artificial intelligence solutions are not mature enough for full deployment. And for that, we will do some prompts and you will understand why there are some limitations and some AI solutions. But bear in mind that today the artificial intelligence such as GPT have ingested 12 billions of trillions of data ingested. It's like ingesting completely the web today around the world. The 3 reasons for adoption AI technologies in project management. First one is that productivity, no doubt about that, is AI will increase productivity by 30% according to Accenture. If you would like to know more about this study, I put on the below of this slide deck, of this page, all the sources where you can find information. Decision process, would it help me to, let's say, improve my decision process, or make them faster to take better decision quicker? And performances. Will AI increase my performances in my factory, in my project management duties? And the way you have to think how GenAI should work with you is there is 5 working modes. First of all, it will help you to generate content. Second, I like AI for generating ideas. I'm not using it as a project manager, but as well as a father. Every day I try to imagine a new story for my son. And in addition to that, I have already created some games using GenAI. Synthesize and interact. Yes. You need to synthesize your work, and as a project manager, you will be overloaded with tons of emails, and you can't spend all your morning to read, let's say, 100 emails. You need to summarize that and to identify what are the questions that you have to maybe ask, and as well, what are the actions that we expect from you. And there is a prompt for that as well. I'm going to showcase that later on. Your assistant, Copilot on task. I consider, as a project manager, ChatGPT as my best co-assistant, okay? I'm asking questions and they ChatGPT asks as well to me some questions that I have to answer, and then he helps me to summarize. And expanding team, yes, thanks to that, it helps me to expand my team because in some cases, as a project manager, I cannot answer to any questions related to, let's say, technical, the implementation of technical solutions or cloud solutions. I need to embark other people that maybe are using as well AI to deliver the project. We talk about the risk, but there are some dangers and concerns. Let's elaborate a bit on this. I don't want to spend so much time on this because the session is dedicated to use some prompts and showcase to you on a daily basis how to use them. So AI system, the first one is AI system might accidentally show secret project information, which could lead to problems if someone uses it wrongly. Yes, when you upload a file, when you upload a video on ChatGPT, make sure that you set that as private. It would be not shared for the others because every time you upload a file, for instance, a very simple file, request for quotation, request for proposal, which is mainly under an NDA, you cannot upload that. Please do not upload this document without, please disable the fact that it should be private. Okay? Bear in mind this, because otherwise this RFP would be ingested by let's say ChatGPT, and if someone do a request about, let's say, a company, ChatGPT may answer to the with some confidential information. Second is AI can sometimes be unfair because it copies old ways of thinking, which can cause bad choices in managing projects. For instance, the best one that I use is about AI powered by recruitment tool. For instance, if an IT company uses AI tool to select project team members based on historical hiring data, the AI tool trained on biased data. It will favor candidates from certain demographics or backgrounds. I'll let you imagine the consequences. Lack of diversity, teams becomes less diverse, and missing maybe varied perspective. And it will imply maybe reduced performances because when you have homogeneity, you need to have a better, let's say, a problem-solving mindset instead of having the same profile. And of course, the ethical issues. I let you imagine if your candidates are only Caucasians, they will recruit only Caucasians. We have already seen that. I'm not kidding. It really happens. So be careful with the, let's say, HR recruitment tool. And you have to be, as a project manager, if you work in the HR, very cautious about that. Third is about the teams might rely too much on AI and forget to use their own skills and thinking in project management. I have 25 years of experiences, and I learned because I was on the field, okay, in many countries. And some of them were really risky, such as, let's say, Democratic Republic of Congo, Haiti. I'll let you imagine. You have heard that in the newspaper, in TV, on the TV. So I learned a lot, and AI would never help me to react under certain situations, okay? You cannot rely on 100% today on AI. AI can make mistakes. This is the fourth one. AI can make mistakes or use wrong information, which can cause problems and bad results for projects. The next one is adding AI to current project management tools. Can be hard, I can tell you, and use a lot of time and money, which can cause problems. Today, you have applications dedicated to project management. I'm not going to introduce you those solutions. I'm going to use a basic prompt on ChatGPT, or let's say /Gemini, Copilot, and Claude. But the thing is that I'm only using AI because it's ChatGPT because it always answers to my questions or problems. I don't need to have another tool. Using AI can raise questions about what's right or wrong, like who is responsible for decision making, on how clear they are. And we do an exercise together, and we try to mitigate maybe risk for a project. Seventh is setting up and running AI systems can cost a lot. I can tell you, yes. and sometimes it might not be worth for some companies. Okay, you have to always, it will be part of the conclusion, identify the benefits and as well the advantages financially to implement AI. Some project teams might not want to use AI tools, which can make it slow or hard to change how projects are managed. It's part of a transformation within an organization. People are not maybe wanting to work and accelerate their work on using AI. Yes, it really exists. I experienced that. AI can do some jobs that people used to do, which might make teams members worried about their jobs. This is the consequences of number 8. So resistant to change and loss of jobs. You have some fear about that, okay? And following the rules about using AI can be very tricky, I can tell you. It might cause legal problems as well. And this is why maybe you can, I hope so you can read it perfectly well. It is a EU regulation, as I mentioned before, on June 13th, that exactly define the harmonized rules on artificial intelligence that you have to follow up for the agents, which is based in Europe. So next, using GenAI in project management usually doing what? For me, it helps me to identify stakeholders, maybe the one that I forgot, analyze, prioritize, and rank stakeholders. And the third one is anticipate and mitigate project risk. And the fourth one is suggest communication strategy with the stakeholders. And based on my own experiences, you can be, let's say, certified on PMP, which is good, let's say on Agile, Scrum, Safe, or whatever. But what would make you as a good project manager is about communication with the stakeholders. This is key. You have a conductor, and the conductor in the orchestra will always, let's say, guide the people, okay? And then he's able to listen the music and as well the harmony. So let's go to the details now before we jump. So first of all, what we have to do before prompting checklist. If I were to summarize that, I would like to jump to the next slide. You have to remember 4 things. First one is context. Which company, which project you work for. Second, you have to be specific. Specific is specify what you need, why you need this. Third is intent. What is the goal? Is to answer the question, what? And the fourth one is the format. How do you like that? The answer in the form of bullet points, in tables, or let's say in a data visualization graphics, or let's say an image. So set the context and the tone, act as a project manager working for a telecommunication industry and responsible of the implementation of a new CRM system. This is the context. Adopt a conversational approach. Please ask me questions that will help me to fine-tune a project where I have to replace a legacy solution by a new one. Choose the workflow and task by being clear and specific. First of all, ask me the first question, but before it's for the implementation to set up, let's say, a proof of concept. Allow the model to ask you questions. This is what I did before. They get clarity and deeper understanding, create user personas. Yes, you are able as well to ChatGPT to create some personas. I'm using it. I have created my own personas, and it's not the purpose of this course, but you can create, let's say, a persona for, let's say, the finance director, the purchase manager. I like the purchase manager where I have to negotiate some professional services persona. Human and AI assistant approach. I mentioned before it should be as your assistant, and you can mention you are my assistant to solve some issues. Let's say not issues. I would like to solve some project management risk that we face on when we have a bad delivery of on a let's say project. And think about the project milestones points to focus on. Yes, it's for POC. Is it for, let's say, the setup of the installation of, let's say, a cloud system or not? Or is it for a user acceptance test? Be very always specific. The The conversational approach that I mentioned before, you have to break down into tasks. So the breakdown complex task into sequences or simple prompts in an interactive conversation. This is the purpose of this session today. I'm going to showcase to you how to do that. Back and forth dialogue. Not for this session because we need to spend more time, but you can ask questions. You can ask ChatGPT to ask you some questions. Start with an outline, then prompt to build different components, and ask ChatGPT, let's say /Claude, Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot to break a task down into smaller tasks for you. And you can go in very deep details. I can't tell you. So let's jump to an example. And if you are using two screens like me today, I'm watching you here. I have another screen here. So we're going to start with a very generic prompt. But before we start, which is really important for me as a project manager, is to know exactly the knowledge cutoff of the AI. The knowledge cutoff is really important because I would like to know from where I have to start to if I can trust the information. Where is it information coming from 2022, 2021, or 2023? And for that, let me jump here. We're going to use ChatGPT and we'll do some exercise. This is a new prompt. I'm not sure that you're used to it, but there is a new one now. You have, in addition to 4.0, you have a 4.0 mini, and we're going to do as well a test between 4.0 and 4.0 mini. Let's start with a simple prompt. I don't know if, let me see if you can share that on the chat. I can't. Let's do that later. But so just start this one. And you're going to see that he mentioned that the cutoff date is October 2023. If I move that to Claude, it's April 2024. That might be very interesting for me because if we work on project management, you have to remember what happened to the Schiphol airport, the flooding event in Dubai, and recently with the solution that was supposed to be update a virus and security update to Microsoft environment. So all the knowledge from the previous project might be available in Claude and not in ChatGPT. And you can do as well the same thing using Gemini, okay, from Google. Here is 2023, but they never mention if it's October or December. Second prompt is a generic one. Is about, can you suggest as a project manager a project timeline template? And it's really very cool prompt because it's very generic and you can experience that in different LLM tool that the answer might be different. Let's get started with, let's say, ChatGPT, and we will use the options that they have. Let's get started. Can you please suggest a project timeline? I'm going to zoom on it. So phase 1 and so on. I will do exactly the same thing on, let's say, Gemini. And it's completely different. They will mention to you the software options that are available to do a project timeline. As you can see that ChatGPT is more accurate. In addition to that, it's finished. You will see the milestones, but I would like to do something faster, but I don't want to, and maybe more precise. I just said, okay, click here and just say send. I just change here the algorithm. Okay, this one, let's say, not algorithm, but pattern. And create this. Look at, it create automatically the tables. You can ask as well, maybe could you please export all the tables in Excel format? And then for all the answers, it will create automatically and generate the tables afterwards. Okay. Let's move to the other examples. I have another one because I mentioned before that as a project manager, it's key for you to be trained how to use ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. This is why I decided to be a prompt engineer. Why? Because being a prompt engineer helps you to understand how to better use ChatGPT, for instance, or Gemini. And it's based on patterns. And you have a lot of patterns that can be applied according to certain context. And here I give you some patterns examples for this today presentation. The first one is about a contextual we name that the template pattern. Okay. So you have a contextual statement on the left. You will have that, but here the use case. Remember, I mentioned use cases for AI. I'm an IT project manager. I work for an IT project, and the company aims to replace a legacy ERP system. I'm going to ask some questions to this. To the ChatGPT. Oh, what? Okay, and let's ask the first question. I copy paste my prompt. And the prompt that I gave to you is something that you can reuse according your context. Okay, let me put it here, and we're going to use the best or complex task model here. And then I describe within this prompt, I'm asking which department and role and position will be, let's say, if we read the prompt, as a project manager, the context for a small public transportation company. The company aims to switch their current ERP system, which is made internally by a software-based solution. I need a list of the main stakeholders in this project. Include the following information for each stakeholders in company. For me, I ask him that capitalized words, you can see them here, okay, are my placeholders for content. This is where I will have a content. Try to fit the output into one or more placeholders that list. Please preserve the formatting on the overall template that I provide presenting a table format. So this is the thing that you have always to copy paste on your prompt. And then you can see here, I ask a department with a breakdown level, the role of the positions, the interest level, the power and influence, and so on. And which is really important for me is the what. What to communicate, okay? What is the frequency? To who, where, and how to communicate. Emails and meetings, email and reports according to the role and position of the person, okay? This is one example. The second example is I would like to have some, let's say, advices. We name that the tail degeneration pattern because it's good to have such, let's say, table, but it's not enough for me as a project manager. I would like to ask a question at the end. Please ask me some questions on any of these stakeholders or another aspect of a stakeholders management to expand on for ensuring project success. Because here it's so generic as a project manager, and I'm pretty sure you have already answered that on your side. It's so generic. So, but I would like to have a tail generation pattern. And let's do a test now. I just copy paste again the same prompt. Here it seems there is lag. I don't know why. I will stop it. Okay. Okay. And then the question appears. Question for stakeholders management. You can see by department. So what are the primary concerns of a customer services manager regarding services continuity? How can we ensure that customer services staff is prepared to handle customers? And you can ask with ChatGPT, okay, let's get started. with the first questions. What I have to answer. And then it deployed more specific questions about the executives, management, CFO. You can see that we go through more in details, okay? Second thing is another use case. I need to have some guidelines or advices for making this project a success. And the basic prompt that I'm using is this one. I'm a project sponsor of an ERP tool, the one that I mentioned. That would be replaced to a better profitability, let's say, and enhanced productivity for our customers based on our current performances. What are the specific points on this project I should concern about? If this is a kind of risk assessment question that I'm asking to ChatGPT. And then you have already the project scope and objective, clear definition of the scope, objective alignment, and so on. Step by step, you go more in details. Let's move to the next prompt. And here I'm doing a first risk assessment. I'm not going to do through all the prompt because we're short in time. So I'm going to start with the first prompt. Okay. The first prompt is about, I'm planning to replace a legacy ERP. Please develop internally by a new standard software solution. Always the context. I repeat it. Okay. Prepare a list of detailed risk for this new project based on the different types of work that need to be done. Please use the following structure. I mentioned before 4 things: context, specific, intent, and format. Here, context, second, specific. Please use the following structure. Intent, goal, do not use risk, trigger, impact, make it sound natural. And the goal and how is combine the structure into one phrase for each risk and write 1 per line with a title on the risk so I can copy it on Microsoft Excel. I just copy paste this one and put it here. And you can see I have a title, budget overrun. I can see the potential risk. If overseeing complexities arise, I'm going to stop here. Arise during implementation, the project cost could exceed the allocated budget, impacting overall project financial health, and so on per item. Okay. And the other one, I can say that you can please remove the word risk at the start of each risk. After describing each risk, estimate the probability and impact using very low, low, and medium. This is exactly what you need as a project manager. You have to identify what is, let's say, critical or not with a level, let's say, of a magnitude. And for that, let's do it. I'm going to stop. You can see that for data migration errors, I can see the critical business operation could be disrupted, leading to operational efficiency, probability high, and the impact is very high. Okay, so it helps you to do your own risk assessment. So next is want to deploy an application on AWS. Okay, we have this one and this one. Okay, this one is really interesting because as a project manager, you work with techies. Okay, they are used to implement a solution, but sometimes you work with partners and they tell you, oh, I need, let's say, 10 days for doing this, or let's say 3 days, but it can be done maybe in, let's say, a few hours. How to check that? Where's the truth? So I prefer to ask that to ChatGPT. Okay, when I have any doubt on project management, let's say with a professional services company, or let's say not with my colleagues, because I trust them, because I know that they are using as well GenAI, because I train them for using it, is that with vendors, I just want to have another opinion. And for that, I'm using a simple prompt, say for AWS, is this one, let's say. Let's try it. I'm trying to deploy an application, the context. I know that I need to install the necessary dependencies on virtual machine for my application. I'm very specific. I know that I need to sign up for an AWS account. Please provide a complete sequence of steps, the intent. And as well, the format. Please fill in any missing steps, please identify any unnecessary steps. This is the format. And then you can see all the sequences. I have another prompt that tells me exactly how to implement it on my, let's say, hosting partner, or let's say on my own computer as well. Okay. Let's jump to another prompt here, because I've been trained as a prompt engineer to use not only ChatGPT, but as well implementing some LLM, let's say, framework. But you have a lot of frameworks available in this market. I took 2 of them as an example. Here, the one that I took is the Alpaca, okay? And you have another one, which is well known, is Olmo. This is an open source one, and you have a Python one, is LangChain that we know, okay? Many use for using LLM, but I don't want to use ChatGPT because maybe some confidential information will be shared with the others. So I would like to install my own LLM system. And here I have a prompt that helps me to implement on my MacBook Air a framework. I'm going to not perform this prompt because we are short on time, but it will be available in the slide deck that the Institute will share to you. But you can test it and you will see you will gain a lot of time to implement it. And the last one, as a project manager, this is my favorite one. You are completely overloaded with emails, okay? And do you really need to identify questions raised to you on your actions quickly? Yes, I would say. And this is the prompt that I created. From now on, I'm going to cut paste email chains into our conversation. You will summarize what each person points or in the email chain. You will provide your summary as a series of sequential bullet points. At the end, list any open questions or actions items directly addressed to me. And please do not forget to mention the context and being specific, especially. My name is Olivier Martin, okay? Ask me for the first email chain. So let me do this. I'm gonna copy this prompt, and for that, I will prepare a new chat. And here you're gonna ask me the email, understood? Please go ahead and pass the first email chain. So he asked me some questions. Okay, and the first one, oh, please upload it. And I'm going to my mailbox, something which is not confidential. Yes, I guess I have one email discussion. Let's go, I will copy paste that up. And then email chain. So he said, Olivier Martin, send an email, blah, 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 blah. September. You have some people that are mentioned here, but I hope. And then open questions and actions to me. So I have to confirm if a call here, update alternate times, and send meeting invitation. This is what I have to do. So I mentioned a very long email chain. It could be longer, okay? Just copy paste, and it did for me exactly this. Open questions and action items. I'll let you imagine the time you can save on your daily duties by using this simple prompt. On Gemini, it's better to use it because it's here. You can say, okay, you select Gmail and put your prompt here. Okay, this is because it's really it's embedded. And here I would say, oh, review my unread emails from the past 5 days and identify the first 3 that are most important. Okay, this is my private email. Maybe some of them will be from my wife or not. Is there anything else I can help you? Unfortunately, I can't search important emails using Gmail yet. Oh, something goes wrong. Yeah, it really happens. Maybe I've changed my rights today about this, because I'll tell you that I did that before. Is it there? No. Okay, it doesn't work, but before it works. I don't know why. Is there something wrong here? But let's try on your side. Be sure that all the rights that you mentioned on Gmail, Google Docs, you have all the rights, and then it will help you to do this summary. That's really weird, really awkward, but it works on it. So this is why I'm using ChatGPT. I'm more used to use this one. Okay. And this is it. This is some examples that can be used as a project manager to ease your task and being more efficient and accurate. So in conclusion, you have some conclusions. You want to know more and practice more with prompts. It's pretty easy. Guys and ladies, just become a prompt engineer. Yes, it's a lot of work to become a prompt engineer, but you will gain time, and practicing on a daily basis, you will be more accurate and you will get some accurate also response and answers. Second is, before using GenAI for a use case, I would say please continually evaluate the cost-benefit trade-off, okay, of the use of a generative AI versus traditional methods of your specific use cases. I'm not using GenAI on a daily basis. Yes, I'm used to work on waterfall, let's say, project management and agile project management using software such as Jira, okay? So I do not need to use GenAI on a daily basis because everything is already implemented. But I'm using GenAI to sort my emails and do a summary of all the conversation flow we have during a day. I'm not working on one project. I'm working on 4 to 5 projects on a daily basis. So you have to do what? What is the low ROI and what is the large ROI? And is it a quick prototype or slow prototype? Example about data analytics. Kind of artificial intelligence is something we are missing. This is why I'm using AI. Maybe I missed something in the data that I, let's say, ingested to do some data analytics. Additionally, consider aspects like confidentiality and GenAI knowledge cutoff date. This is the first thing that we did, okay? Here, ChatGPT is December 2023, but Claude is April 2024. And as well, you have to consider as well the energy impact. Yes, about sustainability, companies will not allow maybe to use ChatGPT because it consumes a lot of energies. Just bear in mind, creating an LLM algorithm takes about 380 trips around the Earth with a plane, according to a study of a university in Germany. So the takeaways of using GenAI in project management. First is use GenAI as a pivotal tool to bring the relevance of whole as a PMO to another level. Second, use AI to deliver projects faster. We have seen some example today. Keep focus on the project, on what truly matter for you, okay? Context-specific intent and format when you do a prompt. Third one is use AI predictive analysis to improve project management processes with data analysis, okay? I'm using as well AI to do some data analytics, such as I have a lot of data to ingest and find, let's say, information from the data that I have ingested, because I have to deliver some KPIs about the performances of the sales, performances of the solution that has been implemented compared to the legacy one, and so on. And on my side, I would like to conclude why I'm using AI. Is GenAI and project management is a tool for helping to quickly give me thought form. Second is to do things faster and in unique ways that I could not do before. I can tell you, I cannot do that before so fast. It can almost automate every single project management process, and we have seen that with some prompts. And in conclusion, this is a world of endless possibilities. And it's like me as a kid exploring something new. Every time I prompt, and the one that you have discovered is this one. If I use Mini, okay, the answer might be completely different. You will see that it's faster, but the answer will be different. I said, oh, I prefer to use this pattern than the complex one. So always exploring something and something new with endless possibilities. So if you'd like to be in touch with me, you can scan now with your mobile this QR code. I'm going to share. Here, endless possibilities. and the QR code. I would like to thank you all, and all the images that you have seen, except this one, okay? Except this one and the others have been generated with Midjourney, okay? They are coming from my own prompts on Midjourney. This is why this is a world of endless possibilities, okay? Thank you all for attending to this webinar, and over to you, Prakash.
Thank you so much, Oliver. Yeah, so we'll open it up for questions from the participants. Participants can unmute themselves and ask questions.
Yeah, Prakash, Mr. Prakash, this is Swaroop here.
Hi, Saru.
So I am heading a program management in the space startup. So, and I'm having multiple stakeholders. You know, it's tech heavy and right from civil works to software integration. There's a whole lot of thing happening. So I just wanted to know as to how much of relevance, I often get back, fall to ChatGPT for certain things. Like one of the things was there are multiple activities happening, and let me make a timeline chart. But often I'm stuck in, the easy. Probably I'm not able to transfer the whole thing immediately, or I'm even because I have been in this field. So at times I feel that is this information actually relevant, especially since there are a lot many technicalities involved in such kind of a startup, a sector, a sector like space. So how much can I depend on the Chat GPT or the Gen AI? Are there any other ways that I can further leverage this? That's my query.
Good question. Could you please maybe elaborate a bit, because it's very generic, I would say.
Yeah.
Saru, are you?
I'll just be
specific to your
more
industry.
specific.
You're asking about your specific industry, the space sector, or
Yes. No,
Just
like for
the last
example,
part,
I'll
the last
just
question alone.
since
Yeah.
Mr. Oliver said, be specific, so I'll just be more specific, like in the sense that I was engaged in an area where we had to make an assembly facility. All right, so I was quite new to this thing about assembly facility. So I wanted to see if Gen AI is able to assist me in understanding how this works everywhere, or how can I create a facility which is up to date, up to mark with what's happening around the world. And I started, and often I find that it's not in sync with what's happening. Probably what the latest companies and latest industry trends are. It gives me a very vague picture. So I started feeling, can I trust it for real, or or do I need, because I have taken a paid version for this specific purpose, that it could help me in the like I wanted some images to be generated, and it generates really vague images which do not so I I start wondering if this is actually am I handicapped on that side, or can I depend on it for the real facts?
Okay, understood. As I mentioned before, according the context, you have to be very specific when you prompt the Gen AI tool. I have had exactly the same impression you have had, okay, before when I started to work on ChatGPT. For me, it was not relevant, and not accurate as I expected. Okay. The reason was that I didn't have the knowledge how to prompt properly ChatGPT, and this is why I started to learn, or let's say to unlearn, how to use ChatGPT to help me to be more specific. And I discovered, I give you a very tangible example. I'm a trainer, meaning that I give some training services for to companies. And at the end of the training, I have to build a report. I cannot say to GPT, I did this training, and please write, I did a training on a software which specializes in quote to cash, let's say CRM, and please just do this, the report for me. No. I started to ask, this is the following question, the following chapters or information that I'm expecting. Please ask me questions. I'm going to answer to you. And then when I'm going to say stop, please summarize it and give me the report. Or if I do as well, let's say a benchmark, if I do, let's say a study to implement maybe a process, or let's say a facility or whatever, I let ChatGPT asking me some questions, and afterwards, let's say going more in details and do a summary. It's not me asking ChatGPT to answer to a question, but ChatGPT to ask me some questions that will help me to get the answer. As I said, learn how to unlearn. And for that, yes, I have, for today, hopefully you will have a slide deck. Few prompts that I gave to you today may help you to better be more specific and reach what you expect from ChatGPT.
Thanks, Oliver.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Prakash, there is a question, in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Is there any standard guideline for prompting specific for industry? Yes, there is a standard guideline for prompting. The first one I mentioned, please, context-specific intent and format, okay? And you have some guidelines. Yes, you have some guidelines, I can tell you. This is why maybe if you jump to a course on prompt engineering may help you to be to have accurate results. For specific industry, no, it's completely. I work for many industries: telecommunication, energy, transport, and finance. Let's say microfinance. So there is no specific prompt. I always customize my prompt based on the guidelines and the patterns that I learn as a prompt engineer. And I showcase to you some of them. Okay. Thank you, Rajesh. Yes, I hope that I pronounced it perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listen. Yeah, it's okay. For the moment, this is enough.
Thank you.
I think we can expect more details further on. A lot of research is happening in this area. So thanks for that. And by the way, it was very good presentation. You covered a lot. Thank you very much.
I just want to give you the tools to find the gold nugget.
Oliver, can we share the PPT with the participants? Is that okay for you?
Oh, of course, the knowledge should be shared.
Okay. Yeah.
In addition to that, I just want to mention something is that in the presentation, you have some source, information. So this is really important when you do a presentation. Like today, you mentioned the source where you keep the information, because a lot of people are talking about percentages, and sometimes I'm not pretty sure that they are good or they are wrong. So this is why I always put on my slide deck, and I advise that to you guys to always put the sources on the information you got. And if as well you're interested to know more about prompting on videos or let's say graphical LLM systems such as Midjourney, please do a test. It's mind blowing as well, as you have seen all the pictures generated today as being generated on Midjourney.
Prakash, one more question in the chat window.
Oh.
Yeah, would you suggest any certification and course for prompt engineering? I do not suggest any school, okay, or university. It's about you. It's more about you. And as well, today we have the University of Kerala Institute that is always as well providing some courses. Is what you expect. Me, I expect, because I'm initially mathematicians, okay, in university. So I prefer to work with PhD people because I like to be managed. And of course, when I choose my prompt engineering course, I decided to the one that I'm pretty sure that I will be with a doctor, okay, scientists or mathematicians who work on this topic. But you can find as well courses specialized on marketing, let's say on energy, telecommunication, let's say IT, human resources, and prompt engineering. So this is my answer. It really depends on what you expect, what are your needs. My needs were, I want to have someone that is, let's say, a more scientist, and as well, I need to be able to work on many projects from many industries. I mentioned 4 of them: telecommunication, energy, transport, and finance. So I need to adapt myself.
Yeah. So thank you, Oliver. I think you can always reach out to Oliver through LinkedIn for further questions. So I want to thank you so much for taking time out. You started with this very stunning fact that India has the largest population of respondents willing to trust the AI system. From there, you spoke about the cost, benefits, limitations, and capabilities of AI, and you leverage the learn to unlearn and using AI as a ally and taking it to a conversational approach. And you actually showed many of us for the first time probably how to actually have a conversation, a meaningful conversation with an AI. And you told us how to set the context, the structure, specific intent, goal format, which are very key takeaways for all of us project managers and the many roles we do. So thank you for also talking to us about the patterns that work behind the AI algorithms, which makes us gives us some more understanding with how our ally things works. So with that, I thank you so much for your time and your wonderful session. And yeah, thank you, Oliver.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah. So just before we end the session, I want to inform all the participants about the upcoming workshop on harnessing AI for project management excellence. So this will be the final pre-conference session we have before the actual one-day Waves 2024. And for that, we have Marek Malinowski joining us, and this will be a longer session. It will be a 1.5 hour session, and it is open only for those who have registered for the Waves 2024 conference. So I request all of you to, I think we'll show you the website, the Waves 2024 website link.